Yeah, and I
So
should
I
probably
need
pay
to watch
attention
it.
to my,
Isn't the T technology? Or technical? Technical?
yeah, I see.
Are you sure you graduated from?
She's a KU person.
Well, she graduated from.
She graduated with honors. I am presenting, I'm focused on the budget.
So I see you got your little, oh my gosh. You should have waited until the,
Chair, we are ready.
At this time, we'll call to order the Board of County Commissioners meeting for the purpose of agenda review of the next week's business section. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fast.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers is absent. Commissioner O'Hara.
Here.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick here.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Here.
Vice Chair Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
And Chairman Kelly is absent at an event.
We do have a quorum. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda items?
Item number 1, consider approving the May 4th, 2023 business session minutes. Item number 2, consider ratifying the chairman's appointment to the REACH Board of Directors, Nicole Palmer, June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2026. Item number 3, consider ratifying the chairman's appointment to the REACH Board of Directors, Jenna Rose, June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2026. And item number 4, consider approving the renewal of the AT&T Business Local Calling, BLC, agreement for 24 months to include current county billing accounts per policy 110.170 in an amount not to exceed $155,000.
Mr. Nixon, would you speak to item number 4?
Yes,
And
very
these
briefly.
first 3 items will remain on consent. Thank you, Mr. Nixon.
Well, I had a question on, I'm sorry, on the AT&T business calling. I was going to ask that it go on action.
And that's what Mr. Nixon's speaking
Okay,
at now.
all right.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
Yes, so Bill Nixon, Director of Technology. So very briefly, this is to consolidate our AT&T billing accounts under a single 24-month agreement to gain a discount on our plain old telephone service lines. This is traditionally what you would call landlines. There's about 51 different separate billing agreements that we have across the county. We want to consolidate that all under one so that we can get a volume discount. Currently, there are some agreements that have expired, and the price went from $40 a line to about $215 a line. So this will bring that cost back to what is more reasonable. The 2-year agreement is for $43 a line. It will be a 24-month agreement, and we're estimating it's about $155,000 over those 2 years for the just under 100 lines that we'll have, although we are actively working to reduce the number of lines. And part of this benefit for this is we've consolidated, or we've looked at all of the billing, and we're getting better visibility into what lines are out there in the environment and trying to remove them. So within the last 3 months, we've removed probably 4 or 5 lines already that are no longer needed or no longer in use.
So Commissioner O'Hara asked this to be put on action. With that, does any other commissioner have any other questions? Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Nixon, you almost answered my question, so maybe a little elaboration, but a sidebar, as you review, enhance, and modify the landline service, will you be changing the long-distance code scheme that we currently use? Right now, to make a long-distance call to Topeka, you have to have a code.
That's,
That's an old style. I'm just kind of curious on that matter. Will that?
yeah, that's not part of this, but we currently do that so we can get some visibility into who actually is using the long-distance lines. But we have talked about potentially removing the need for that.
That's just a side comment. To your point, though, and I appreciate you looking at this holistically, looking for opportunities. Are there any options, competitive options, long-term, that we will be able to pursue rather than being dependent upon AT&T as a sole source provider, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, at some point, we would want to figure out who our telecom provider will be. There's a number of different activities that we're doing over the coming years that I've been up here and talked about before. One of the big things we're doing over the next 2 years is adjusting our software side of things. So once we have that done, then we do want to start considering other vendors to provide this type of service to us.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, I thought the briefing sheet was well done, and it seems kind of like a no-brainer. Do we want to pay $215 a month per line or $43 a month per line? So appreciate that information.
Well, with that, Commissioner O'Hara requested this to be on action. We'll move that to action, and we get to see you again.
Anytime?
Thank you. Clerk, please read action item number 5.
Resolution number 036-23, application number SW23-283-FDP-GA. Consider request from Patrick Gaither, Atlantic AE, on behalf of Amazon applicant and Johnson County Airport landowner, requesting a revised final development plan for parking lot revisions and installation of a water tank and pump house on property zone PEC-3, Planned Research Development and Light Industrial Park District, located at 27200 West 157th Street.
With that, Ms. Liniger, could you speak to the briefing sheet?
Good morning, Michelle Leiniger, County Planning staff. This is a pretty straightforward revised final development plan for the Amazon facility, which is located northwest of New Century Air Center runways. Here is a close-up of the property, and you can see that all the notes and changes are at the southwest corner of the site. And then this is a closer picture. The changes include restriping of portion of the loading dock area to vehicular parking as identified for deferred parking with original development plan. And then the installation of a water tank and pump house for fire suppression system inside the building. No new impervious surface is included, as the new facilities will be on existing pavement. And then existing and proposed landscaping will screen those two structures. The Southwest Zoning Board recommended approval of the application with stipulations as recommended by staff at the April 26th meeting. No members of the public spoke, and I can answer any questions.
With that, does any commissioner have any questions? Commissioner O'Hara.
Thank you. Is this necessary because of water pressure and the sizing of the water mains that go to this building? Because I know we had some issues about availability of water for all of our development at the airport, and so is this a reason that they're having to do this?
Yeah, that's part of it. They've done some internal remodeling, which triggers them to need more water capacity, so then that suppression system is supported by the water.
Okay, so this is for sprinklers?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, everything is in good order, but this is a planning item, will remain on action. Madam Clerk, could you read item number 6?
Resolution number 039-23, consider adopting a resolution to prohibit truck traffic on Gardner Road from 199th Street to 215th Street.
Good morning, Brian Petig with Public Works. So we have been receiving reports about trucks exiting I-35 using Gardner Road, which is currently open to truck traffic, but the east-west routes, 199th, 207th, and 215th are not. Trucks are making U-turns and backing up. We're, again, receiving reports of that. More importantly, last week, Miami County has approved posting no trucks on Gardner Road south of 215th Street. So we'll have a situation where we have a bottleneck where trucks exiting and headed south on Gardner Road have no lawful maneuver they can make other than to try and trace their steps back. To help mitigate this issue, we are recommending posting Gardner Road 199th to 215th Street for no trucks. This does leave Gardner in the situation where they have a stretch of road south of the interchange that they're going to need to make some decisions on, and they do have options. They could ignore it and deal with the issue of trucks and how they will maneuver back. They could post it for no trucks, which has some issues. They could remove truck restrictions on potentially 199th Street to allow some options for trucks. And there is a fourth, which is an interim improvement of 207th Street, which is mostly in the county, and it's a half-mile section of gravel road, and I'm putting our cursor over that. They could do some type of improvement there and work with the county on something like that. Gardner is aware of this situation. I don't know which path they're going to take, but they understand that this is coming. We have coordinated with our sheriff's office, and they support what we're trying to do here as well. And I'll stand for any questions you might have.
So, Brian, we continue to have ongoing issues off of 199th, just with bottlenecking of trucks, and so I congratulate your staff for the ongoing working together with our cities, and but also with the restrictions on Gardner Road would be lifted an interim improvement of 207th, that was completed. Could you advise the board of the estimated cost of that? And then also of the interim improvement, and who's going to pay for that? But also the cost of, or if you have an estimated cost of what we've already spent on 199th Street, along with the signs that were posted and what has gone in, not including staff time, but if you have a number, because I just want to share it with all the commissioners, because, as I've explained to the city, I don't know that I can go forward and ask for us to pay for this after we've already spent millions. So if you could answer that, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Sure. So one of the thoughts that we have discussed with both the city of Gardner and Edgerton is that we could do an interim improvement to 207th. And again, I have my cursor over that. That's a half-mile stretch of gravel road so that trucks could then exit. And that's where most of the trucks appear to be wanting to go. That's where Kubota, Hostess, and other types of intermodal facility, the future facilities might go there. So if they were willing to do an improvement of 207th Street, the board could consider that. We estimated this interim improvement, which would be very modest. It would be just putting asphalt on an existing gravel road. It wouldn't be adding safety features or anything like that. It wouldn't be a modern urban style road. It would just be something to get us through the next 5 to 10 years until development and the cities would do an improvement there. That's probably about $300,000. And you're right, we do not have this budgeted in anything the county has done. And what I've told Gardner so far is, well, without discussion from our board, we would look to the city of Gardner to pay for an improvement like that. As far as 199th Street, we did start over by 56 Highway and have moved east and done several improvements. We've spent probably about $9 million. And you will see next week, we have partnered with the city of Spring Hill. We will be looking to award a contract to do the east end from Clare Road to US 169. So the county has spent significant funds on 199th Street.
Let's see, so you've answered all my questions, so, does any other commissioner at this point have any questions? Commissioner Ashcraft?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Pedic, I'm not sure I understood what you said correctly. You indicated that one proposal was to put an asphalt overlay on a stretch of roadway and that it would last 5 to 10 years?
That would be the route. It would not necessarily last 5 to 10
Okay.
years. Maintenance would be another discussion,
Yeah,
an issue. And in this discussion of cost for improving
Okay.
would be the cost of who's going to take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, 18-wheelers on asphalt is
It will
It's
need
tough.
maintenance.
It's tough, okay. Now, is there a coordinated effort, and if there is, who is leading that coordinated effort to communicate these changes and to manage expectations of these users? I suspect that there are multiple perspectives in terms of the validity, desire, ability to manage this. Is this something that your office is doing, or one of the cities, or the sheriff, or the state? I'm honestly just being curious at this point.
Yeah, if this is approved, Public Works as well as the sheriff would take on the responsibility of educating the public on this working with our PIO. The sheriff did something similar we and the sheriff did something similar when we approved these no truck restrictions last time. The sheriff typically takes 6 to 8 weeks after we post to educate folks and get the word out.
Very good, thank you.
And I might add, there has been a lot of calls and complaints from people that are living out here. So that's a regular, we're getting those calls, I'm receiving those calls, and so it's something that we really need to address. And your office, along with the county manager, we meet regularly with the mayor and the city managers of these areas to work together on providing a good solution. So it just comes down to who's going to pay for it. So, Commissioner O'Hara.
Thank you. Mr. Pedic, couldn't these trucks go down to Homestead?
I would think that's an option, sure.
Well, that seems like a no-brainer, that they just go down to Homestead, because then they can access those facilities and they don't have to go down Gardner Road, and then we don't have to spend the money on 207th Street. So, I mean, is there any way to educate the drivers? It must be a mistake on their part that they're not just going down the interstate and taking Homestead.
As we discussed, we will work with the sheriff on putting information out to the public on the route we prefer. them to
Commissioner
take.
O'Hara, they're getting bottlenecked there, and they're going into people's ditches and yards, trying to turn around.
What, on Gardner Road? Not Homestead.
I know, but it's at that area, so until you
Right.
educate and,
Correct. So we just need, my question was, is that these trucks have access on Homestead and that they could be going down there, and it sounds like that they just don't, that some of the truckers don't understand that they have that option. Then the other thing is that I'm still getting a lot of complaints about truck traffic on 199th Street east of 169 Highway. And I will be making a motion to amend this to include that area, because we're having a lot of wrecks out there. And the people that live out there are very, very concerned. And so I would appreciate your consideration of expanding that prohibiting trucks on 199th Street east of 169 Highway. And I think I understand why Gardner would have an issue of banning trucks off of the interstate, because that would be in violation of I don't know what the regulation is, but it's access for local routes off the interstate. And there's a certain geographic area that you cannot prohibit truck traffic. Or can you explain that a little bit more?
Correct, there's a federal requirement of not restricting truck traffic within 1 mile of the
Interstate.
state system or the federal system unless there's a safety issue.
Oh, well, we can validate that there's a safety issue. All right, I did not know that caveat. All right, thank you for that explanation.
Ms. Postal Ferguson?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something that Commissioner O'Hara said about you didn't want to pay for that stretch. I don't think this, I just want to clarify with Brian that this resolution doesn't include us paying.
Oh, correct, correct,
Okay,
I
just wanna
understand.
clarify.
It's just conversation. Thank you.
Commissioner Hanslick, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just two things. One, Mr. Pedic, I wondered if I might be able to sit down with you or the appropriate staff to get a better understanding of all of the implications of this situation. Fun.
Sorry.
You might need a day.
Well, or at least the major.
I can give you a folder.
The major implications. And then just second, an observation to Commissioner O'Hara's concern about the 199th Street east of 69. It looks like most of that is in Spring Hill, so I would assume they would have to be the ones that took any action to prohibit trucks. Would that be correct?
There certainly are large areas of 199th still in the county, east of 169. There's Spring
Depending
Hill
how
as well.
far east you go.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
That's all in the county.
All right, thank you.
Well, Commissioner O'Hara, you're certainly welcome to make the motion, but I have to say that I would rather you make a motion to bring forth another study so that our planning staff, the sheriff's office, everybody that's involved in that can start the study of safety like we did in this area. So that would be something I would ask, but you're welcome to make the motion if you want to amend it.
Thank you.
No further questions? And I get, this will go on action.
Well, I just one question. I mean, there's going to be work on a new CARNAP plan, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so that's going to address some of this.
Can you say your question again? I'm sorry.
There's going to be work on a new CARNAP plan. That's like about 20 years old, that plan.
So this area was visited when the Burlington Northern was approved and changes to Carnup were made to accommodate that. So I would think as development occurs, revisiting Carnup every year is something that does occur. I don't know that that's going to solve where we say trucks should and shouldn't go.
You know, I really, really appreciate all the time and effort you and your staff, along with the sheriff, everybody that's involved in working also directly with our cities. I don't think, I'm not sure all the commission here understands how much time and effort and expertise that comes not only from your staff, but also from city staff as well. So if there's no further questions, this is going to remain on action. And that concludes our agenda review. We are going to be adjourned and return at 2:00 p.m. in this room for the Committee of the Whole for the budget overview.